Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschata Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivachadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Come on, all of you. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So we are reading Krishna book, chapter 24, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Worshipping Govardhana Hill.
Sorry, ma?
Worshipping Govardhana Hill.
Yeah, I'm just going there. Hare Krishna. So let's, whoever wants to read, please keep your hand raised. So we are going to chapter 24, which is worshipping Govardhana Hill. Right? So today I had been to ISKCON, very beautiful. I think many had dressed Krishna in like Kerala style. Today is Onam. Happy Onam to all. It's a Kerala festival. Kerala, I'm sure all of you know where it is. So it's from there. So let's start. Who'd like to read? Hare Krishna. And whoever likes to read, please raise your hand. Yes, Lakshmi, please start.
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Chapter 24, Worshipping Govardhana Hill. While engaged with the Brahmanas who were too much involved in the performance of Vedic sacrifices, Krishna and Balrama also saw that the cowherd men were preparing a similar sacrifice in order to pacify Indra, the king of heaven, who is responsible for supplying water. As stated in Chaitanya Charitamrita, a devotee of Krishna has strong and firm faith in the understanding that if he is simply engaged in Krishna consciousness and Krishna's transcendental loving service, then he is freed from all other obligations. A pure devotee of Lord Krishna doesn't have to perform any of the ritualistic functions enjoined in the Vedas, nor is he required to worship any demigods. Being a devotee of Lord Krishna, one is understood to have performed all kinds of Vedic rituals and all kinds of worship to the demigods. One does not develop devotional service for Krishna by performing the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies or worshipping the demigods. But it should be understood that one who is engaged fully in the service of the Lord has already fulfilled all Vedic injunctions. Should I continue, Mataji?
Just 1 second, ma, we'll do that. So we're talking about Brahmins, right? Brahmins are considered to be the head of Krishna. Why so? It's because head is very important. It's not that the other parts are not, just that head also refers to intelligence. And what knowledge do Brahmins give? You all tell me, what knowledge do they give the other three Varnas?
Knowledge of the scriptures.
Exactly, spiritual knowledge, not medical, engineering, all these are skills, right? So that's not given. So what is happening is Krishna and Balram are noticing that the cowherd men, right, rest of them they are planning to give some sacrifice, right? So like the Brahmanas, they are planning to do yagna. So Indra is Yagna Purusha and obviously Param Purusha is Krishna. So Indra, why they feel they wanted to thank him is because they've been supplying water, right? So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, they say that any devotee of Krishna will have such a strong faith that if we just engage ourselves in Krishna consciousness, automatically everybody will love, because demigods are like are lovers of Krishna. Simple. A mother is there, a child is there. Isn't the mother happy the moment the child is appreciated?
Yes,
Yes,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Right? So
Definitely.
why? Because she loves the child so much, right? Now I'm just giving an opposite example, but however it's same, where the love seems same, right? So the demigods actually love Krishna so much, right? So if anybody loves Krishna or they want to go to Krishna and they have a lot of knowledge as well, so therefore they'll be more than happy. Can anyone tell me from Bhagavad Gita, where is the stance which says that if you can give up on everything or all religious practices, as long as you worship me? Do you recall any such thing? Here they're giving reference of Chaitanya Charitamrita, but do we have a similar reference in Bhagavad Gita?
Yes, Mataji, in the 18th chapter,
Yes.
66th
Yes.
verse.
Absolutely.
Sarvadharman
18.6.
parityajya.
Yeah, complete ma. Sing.
Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. Hare
Very
Krishna,
beautiful.
Mataji.
Thank you so much. So Sarvadharma Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Raja. All he's telling is forget all types of religion and just surrender on to me, right? Moksha Ishami Ma Suchaha. That means I am going to give you and I give you guarantee, right? A pure devotee does not have to perform any of these ritualistic functions. Just being a devotee itself is good enough. Like just Prabhupada often says, it's important to you water the roots, which is Krishna. You don't have to water the stem, the flowers. Oh, okay, here the flower is coming, I'll water the flower. No, not required, right? One does not develop devotional service for Krishna by performing all these things, or even by worshipping the demigods. It should be understood that devotional service is automatic love, and it is already, is in a dormant state within our heart. That is something which we should understand. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Yes, Kirti, please go ahead and do 2 paras. Very shiny one.
Yes, Mataji, thank you. Hare Krishna. In order to stop all such, in order to stop all such activities by his devotees, Krishna wanted to firmly establish exclusive devotional service during his presence in Vrindavana. Because he is the omniscient personality of Godhead, Krishna knew that the cowherd men were preparing for the Indra sacrifice. But as a matter of etiquette, he began to inquire with great honor and submission from elder personalities like Maharaja Nanda. Krishna asked his father, "My dear father, what is this arrangement going on for a great sacrifice? What is the result of such a sacrifice? And for whom is it meant? How is it performed? Will you kindly let me know? I am very eager to know this procedure. So please explain to me the purpose of this sacrifice." Upon this inquiry, his father Nanda Maharaja remained silent, thinking that his young boy would not be able to understand the intricacies of performing the yajna. Krishna, however, persisted. "My dear father, for those who are liberal and saintly, there is no secrecy. They do not think anyone to be a friend, an enemy, or a neutral party because they're always open to everyone. And even for those who are not so liberal, nothing should be kept secret from the family members and friends, although secrecy may be maintained for persons who are inimical. Therefore, you cannot keep any secrets from me. All persons are engaged in fruitive activities. Some know what these activities are, and they know the result, and some execute activities without knowing the purpose or the result. A person who acts with full knowledge gets the full result. One who acts without knowledge does not get such a perfect result. Therefore, please let me know the purpose of the sacrifice you're going to perform. Is it according to Vedic injunction, or is it simply a popular ceremony? Kindly let me know in detail about the sacrifice. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. This is very beautiful, and this reminds me of Tat Sat, Om Tat Sat, right? Om marks the beginning and Sat marks the end or eternity. It is the final conclusion and which is carried forward for many years. And Tat talks about the process which is followed. Now, very similar to that, it says there's something called Asat. So anybody who does without belief or without understanding. So there is a lot of difference, and that is exactly where we are in, right? We have belief, but we do not have understanding. So our Shraddha, our faith is very, very weak. Why is it very weak? Because we have faith because our ancestors have told, but unfortunately we have so much of intelligence that we are questioning, why is this so, right? For example, when someone tells that we eat out of somebody's plate, karma gets transferred. It sounds very funny, right? Arey, how will karma get transferred? Now Krishna tells, Sarva Dharma Parityaga, Mamekam Sharanam Raja. Okay, I will surrender. I will guarantee. How? So if I don't follow and if I'm totally thinking of you, you mean Krishna will take care? All these are questions, not because we don't trust Krishna. So there was a very deep realization which I was going through as to what is the difference between trust and faith. Though in English it means same, right? So there is this Shraddha, which is the right word, though we do not have an equivalent word. So trust, faith, and trust. So trust, we know for sure that Krishna is there, right? But we still keep questioning. If the trust and faith is strong, that is Shraddha is strong, we will not have the doubt. As of now, none of us here have a doubt whether Krishna is God. But where are we lacking? We are lacking the trust in him, telling that Krishna will take care of us, right? Avashya Rakshibi Krishna. So we are not sure that Krishna at any cost will take care. This is the lack of trust which I'm talking about. But we do not doubt him that whether he's God or not. We are not in that stage. But we still are not sure whether he will come for our rescue. That's the challenge. Now, Krishna, Father Nanda Maharaj is not trying to hide it from him. But sometimes it happens for us, right? Oh, the Bachu hai, such a small child, who's hardly 6.5 years. And how much will he understand? So he just said that, no, it's just a ritual. Now, Krishna so beautifully is convincing the father. See, he says that you actually, whether it's a friend or a relative or neutral party, you know they should not hide. If you're an enemy, then you can probably consider maintaining secrecy, but that's not my case. So you cannot be keeping secrecy. So explain. So now Krishna very clearly knows the whole thing is for Indra. Then why is he playing so much drama? He could have directly asked, no, Arey, Indra ko hai, do it for me. Because that's what he's planning to establish in second para. So why? What is the issue? Why is he going around the bush? Why is he beating around the bush? Hare Krishna. Why is he beating around the bush? Come on, I want everybody to speak. Hare Krishna. Why is so much silent?
Didn't understand the question.
You didn't understand the question. See, Krishna knows the entire plan or the puja is for Indra. He could have directly gone and asked, but why is he telling for whom? Why is he asking so many questions?
Mataji, only if we surrender and tell, Krishna will speak.
Sorry? I can't hear you.
Only if we surrender and ask the solution.
But he's dealing with Vrindavan Vasis. They have already surrendered. So Vrindavan Vasis are already surrendered, no, very unlike us. So still, why are they doing that? Because he wants to be not showing off himself. So this is called less, not puffing up. So people like us, most of us get puffed up. See, in order to stop all the activities, he's omnipotent. It's mentioned here. Omniscient. He knew. Omniscient means knowledge. He knows everything, right? And he knows that they are preparing. But as a matter of etiquette, right? So basically, this is called submissive hearing. Any elders are there. That is what we also read in Bhagavad Gita, right? Tadvidhi pranipratena praniprasnena seveya upadrishtante te jnanam naninas tattva darshinaha. So we will have to humbly submit ourselves to the Guru. Only then the Guru will be comfortable. Like that, he considers everyone senior, right? And he is trying to be very humble and giving a lot of respect. So anyone who's not read, please go ahead with this para, please.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, dear, go ahead.
Yes, on hearing this inquiry from Krishna, Maharaj Nanda replied, "My dear boy, this ceremonial performance is more or less traditional because rainfall is due to the mercy of King Indra and the clouds are his representatives. And because water is so important for our living, we must show some gratitude to the controller of this rainfall. Maharaj Indra, we are arranging therefore to pacify King Indra because he has very kindly sent us clouds to pour down a sufficient quantity of rain for successful agricultural activities. Water is very important. Without rainfall, we cannot farm or produce grain. And without grain, we cannot live. Therefore, rain is necessary for successful religious ceremonies, economic development, and ultimately liberation. So we should not give up this traditional ceremonial function. If one gives it up, being influenced by lust, greed, or fear, then it does not look very good for him. Should I read next paragraph also, Mataji?
Yeah, go ahead
Hare
with the next
Krishna.
para because it's just a
Yes,
traditional thing.
Mataji. Yes, Mataji. After hearing this, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in the presence of his father and all the elder cowherd men of Vrindavana, spoke in such a way as to make the heavenly king Indra very angry. He suggested that they forego the sacrifice. His reason for discouraging the sacrifice performed to please Indra were twofold. First, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, there is no need to worship the demigod for any material advancement. All results derived from worshipping the demigods are simply temporary, and only those who are less intelligent are interested in temporary results. Second, whatever temporary result one derives from worshipping the demigod is actually granted by the permission of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is clearly stated in Bhagavad Gita, Mai eva vihitan hitan. Mai eva vihitan hitan. Whatever benefit is supposed to be derived from demigod is actually bestowed by Supreme Personality of Godhead. Without the permission of Supreme Personality of Godhead, one cannot bestow any benefit upon others. But sometimes the demigods become puffed up by the influence of material nature, thinking themselves all in all. They forget the supremacy of personality of Godhead. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is clearly stated that in this instant, Krishna wanted to make King Indra angry. Krishna's advent was specially meant for the annihilation of the demon and protection of the devotees. King Indra was certainly a devotee, not a demon, but because he was puffed up, Krishna wanted to teach him a lesson. He made first Indra angry by stopping the Indra Puja, which had been arranged by the cowherd men in Vrindavana. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you,
Very
Mataji.
beautiful, lovely, nicely read. Thank you so much, all of you all. Look at the argument he's putting up, right? Look at the way we argue with our parents. Daddy, why? That's how our tone will be. Look at the way Krishna is telling. So Krishna actually, after listening to everything, in the presence of the father and everyone, he spoke in such a way that made Indra angry, right? He suggested that, and he quotes from Bhagavad Gita, he says it's not right to go ahead. Yes, Nita, you can do the next para reading, Hare Krishna. And he says that he wants to give up, and he also is giving enough quotes. But nevertheless, why is he doing? Because not that he is envious of Indra, but he knows very well Indra is puffed up and he wants to teach him a lesson. We cannot call Indra a demon because demons are very jealous of the Lord. Here, what happens is sometimes even devotees happens for even people like us, where we are in the traditional path, we keep trying to understand. We get confused. Now, what is a beautiful concept which Nanda Maharaj has said? Nanda Maharaj has said, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. These are four important things, and ultimate is moksha. And to reach moksha, we have to follow Dharma, Artha, and Kama. And by doing these ceremonies, which are traditionally there, it is must. So this is called difference between ritual and spiritual. Ritual is something which you perform as a duty, and when there is no spirit, it becomes ritual. Which is why we say that anything we do, we should do with a meaning. Why do we chant? And if we do it like Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, that's also chanting. Okay, everybody loud. Okay, loud. Am I telling the mantra? Yes. Is it loud? Yes. Can everybody hear? Yes. But then do I have the feeling? No. Right? Hare Krishna. So do I get that feeling? Of course, very difficult, but I'm just trying to tell, even I can't do. Right now, we are doing it more like a ritual. When we start doing spiritually, then we will get spiritually elevated. Even otherwise, we're getting elevated. But the fact is, then Krishna will start falling in love with us, right? So we can catch Krishna. Krishna, if we plan to chase him and catch him, he will come many miles towards us. But the fact is whether we're really trying to do that. That's a point which we have to ask. Hare Krishna. Yes, Nita, go ahead with this.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
One second. I'm just seeing how big. Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
With this purpose in mind, Krishna began to talk as he were an atheist supporting the philosophy of Karma Mimamsa. Advocates of this philosophy do not accept the supreme authority of the personality of Godhead. They put forward the argument that if anyone works nicely, the result is sure to come. Their opinion is that even if there is God who gives men a result of his fruitive activities, there is no need to worship him because unless men work, they cannot bestow any good result. They say that instead of worshipping a demigod or God, people should give attention to their own duties, and thus the good results will surely come. Lord Krishna began to speak to his father according to their principle of the Karma Mimamsa philosophy. My dear father, he said, I don't think you need to worship any demigod for the successful performance of any your agricultural activities. Even every living being is born according to his past karmas and leaves this life simply takes this result of this present karma. Everyone is born in different types of species of life according to his past activities, and he gets his next birth according to the activities of this life. Different grades of material happiness and distress, comforts and disadvantage of this of life are different results of different kinds of activities from either the past or present life. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you so much, dear. So very clearly what he's telling us, he's very clearly explaining to him, and it's very similar to atheist philosophies, right? He is like trying to tell, that he, as if he's supporting what is called the karma mimamsa. So what is this philosophy talking about? They do not believe in supreme personalities, right? Supreme power. So therefore, they always very beautifully put across an argument. Atheists can be smarter than this, because smartness need not be with respect to spirituality. It can be with respect to how somebody can position something, right? The opinion is that God who gives all this, no need to worship. So I remember I was telling a friend of mine, hey, okay, you're actually offering annadanam to poor people. Why don't you offer to Lord and then, give it to him? He says, why? Anyway, God only is giving. He knows, na. In fact, what God has said is, if you can do Manav Seva is Madhav Seva. So if you can do proper Seva to Manav, that is good enough. The result automatically Krishna will be happy. Sometimes my mom also says, Krishna says we should do our duty. Do not worry about it, which is true, right? But people concoct and misinterpret, telling that you don't have to worry about him or think about him. Only do your happy. If you're good by heart, Krishna will fall for you. But that's not true. You can be good by heart, but you can't sustain the goodness. We will be good by heart as long as there is nothing coming our way. So Krishna is also telling there's no need to worship any god for whatever agricultural stuff you got. Every living being, whoever is born, because of his past karma only. So anything which is going to happen is because of the past karma. Next birth is also, all planned. Like it's all based on all that. Therefore, let's not get into all this demigod worship. Concept is very nice. He's bringing that across. Yeah. So whoever has not read this, can read. Has anybody? Nita has read. Is there anybody else who hasn't read? Okay, Nita, please continue the para. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, it's looking dark, grayish. Maharaja Nanda and other elder members argued that without satisfying the predominating god, one cannot derive any good results simply by material activities. This is actually the fact. For example, it is sometimes found that in spite of very first-class medical help and treatment by the first-class physician, a diseased person dies. It is concluded, therefore, that every first-class medical treatment or the attempts of first-class physician are not in themselves the cause for curing a patient. There must be the hand of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Similarly, a father and mothers taking care of their children is not the cause of the children's comfort. Sometimes it is found that Hare Krishna. Sometimes it is found that in spite of all care by the parents, the children go bad or come to death. Therefore, material causes are not sufficient for results. There must be a sanction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nanda Maharaj therefore advocated that in order to get good results from agricultural activities, they must satisfy Indra, the superintending deity of the rain supply. Lord Krishna nullifies this argument and says that demigods gives result only to persons who are executed their prescribed duties. The demigods cannot give any good results to the person who has not executed the prescribed duties. Therefore, demigods are dependent on the execution of duties and are not absolute in awarding good results to anyone. So why should one care about them?
Hare Krishna, very beautiful, right? So the Nanda Maharaj is saying that without satisfying the important, that is a predominating God, you'll never have good results, right? He says it's a fact, right? For example, many times we will see that even though there is a great doctor, things fail. Same way, even though there is parents are amazing, they are very spiritual also sometimes, right? They have money, they do all things for the child, but the child can go this way, that way, and nothing can save the child, right? So material thing alone is not there. So we need supreme power, which is why the 5 factors which govern, right? They talk about the person, place, endeavor, right? Not just that, but super soul, which means Paramatma also has to play an important role, which is said in Bhagavad Gita. So there must be a sanction by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's a must. So he is telling that to get good results, we must satisfy Indra, because Indra represents the predominating deity of rain. So Lord Krishna nullifies this argument, saying that demigods give results only to person who have done their duty. So demigods do not just, that's why Adi Devik works only when they do their duty. They say they cannot give results for those who have not done duty. Therefore, demigods are totally dependent on those who execute duties. So what he's telling, if you do your duty righteously, you will be taken care of by the demigod. Example, Arjuna went to the war and he was called a non-Aryama because he stopped shooting arrows, and that's considered as not performing the duty, right? That means you can imagine the interlink. So if Arjuna does not perform his duty, then the possibility of rain also gets killed. And, good anyway will happen because of that. So this is what Krishna says. So he says, why should you care about them? So with this, we will end this class. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo ananta koti Vaishnav Vijay Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Namacharya
ki Jai, Namacharya Das
Hare Krishna
ki
Hare
Jai.
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Okay, all of you.
Thank you,
any
Mataji.
doubts? Okay, many of them have been asking me when is Balram Jayanti. It's day after tomorrow, which is 31st. Okay, when is Jula? Okay, that happened on Sunday, last Sunday. But I think wherever you go, whichever ISKCON, I think they are still playing, they are actually swinging for Krishna. So that will continue.
Mataji, what is pre-Janmashtami celebration?
Janmashtami is on the 6th. I am talking about Balram Jayanti, which is on the 31st.
Okay, Mataji.
Yeah. Balram is Krishna's brother.
Yes.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Younger brother?
Elder brother.
Elder brother.
Elder brother.
First is Balram. Yes, I see Neeta and Kirti's hands up. Any doubts?
I was raised because I wanted to read. Thank you, Mataji. I'll just...
Sure. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna. Yes, Kirti?
Yes, Mataji. I had a doubt, not related to today's topic, but in the same Krishna book, right? Like initially, when Krishna is in Devaki Mata's womb, all the demigods are there to pray and all that. But then, this Leela happens wherein Brahma comes and kidnaps all these cowherd boys. So, so why is that, Mataji? Like, is it just for a pastime or because he knows?
Everything is for pastime. Very beautifully you asked. So everything is for a pastime. You finish your question and then I will answer.
Yes, Mataji. That's all I wanted to know. So, like, basically, he knew that, it was Krishna who was being born. And again, he was confused.
Okay.
Yeah.
He knew that. But the point is, there's something called what I can digest and something what I can't digest. Right? For what happens is Brahma wants to see Krishna. He comes with excitement. Now, what he sees is little different from what he has pictured Krishna to be. You would probably notice that also, right? If you have finished your school and you meet a friend after 10 years, what you see is very different. So here, according to us, Krishna is too good, but according to Brahma, it's too weird because he remind me about buttermilk. Okay, I will tell you the story because it will stretch for a while. So if you remind me tomorrow, I will tell you the story, Pakka, about what is the story and what made Brahma get confused and why is he playing that trick. Would you do that for me?
Definitely, Mataji. I would be very happy
I'll
to
unwind
know.
the story. Remind me 10 minutes before, so I'll pause and tell. Yeah?
Yes, Mataji.
So,
thank you so much.
Any other questions? Otherwise, we'll wind the class and we'll extend this to tomorrow. Yeah? Hare Krishna. Then I'll end. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, everybody.
Thank you so much, everyone.